So, hiya, welcome to the podcast. My name is Bianca and I will be your host for today. The podcast is Get Spooked. And this is my second time recording this. Um not in not today, but when hold on. Second time because I had recorded it last night. Everything was good. Everything I wasn't really comfortable with recording because, it was my first time recording. It took me for fucking ever and whatnot. So I was kind of over it and done. As well as I've never done a podcast before. I've been wanting to do this for a really long time and just yap about my special little interest. But yeah, I had recorded and I started editing it earlier today. And guess what? My laptop was like, hey, you need more storage. And I was like, okay, period. I don't have my external hard drive with me because I was in another location. And so I was like, period, I'm just going to start deleting shit. Because I had a lot of stuff on my laptop that really didn't um, benefit me anymore. So I was like deleting stuff. I needed to, anyways. And so whenever I tell you I was mass deleting shit, like I was clicking and dragging all the way down to select like a shit ton of stuff. Like I was dragging large amounts of files, downloads, documents, whatever you want to call it, and throwing it away. Do y'all want to take a guess as to what I did? That's right. I deleted the podcast that I edited. Spent the entire day just to post it today. So I'm gonna rush to see if I can post it before today ends because I'll be damned if I don't post on Friday because I said I was gonna start my spooky season on Friday. So and that I was gonna post my podcast on Friday and hopefully soon once I get the hang of everything, I'll be able to post more often, hopefully twice a week because since I'm just barely starting out, I feel like I can push a lot out. And then once I get more settled and more like established and really get a routine and everything, um I'll probably minimize it to one and do a really long episode. But for now, I'm probably just gonna do two episodes. Hopefully they'll be kind of short. I don't know. So we'll see because I try to do all of this in one go so I don't have to edit a lot of stuff. But again, I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first ever podcast. I am basically essentially a noob with this stuff. So bear with me, and if you don't, that's not my problem. Anyways, so again, welcome to the podcast. Let's see. Today I deleted it. I deleted the podcast. So now I'm refilming. And my Taco Bell Uber order was really late, like almost an hour late, and my nachos were soggy. And I have a headache. So I feel like I'm running on nothing. Anyway, so this podcast is essentially about my little interest, which is anything. You can call me morbid, you can call me whatever you want. I don't really care because I'll own that shit, okay? I like spooky shit. I like paranormal stuff. I like cryptids. I like dark history. I like stuff that gets you spooked, okay? I do have an interest in true crime. Excuse me if like I'm rushing, but this is how I normally talk, so hopefully eventually I get the hang of um speaking on a podcast and seeing what better suits my podcast, like my voice, my accent, and my enunciations. So hopefully I get the hang of it. But again, it's my first podcast and it's my first episode. So at this point, it is what it is until I figure it out. But I think I'm not the right person to be talking on true crime. Hopefully once I get a little bit more settled and into it, I can probably talk about it, but I just don't feel comfortable as of right now talking about true crime. If it's like kind of involved into urban legend or a paranormal like story, I could possibly touch on that, but I feel I may not be the right person because um, I may not come off as uh, I may come off as very blunt and harsh, and not. I just don't feel like I'm the appropriate person. I want to come off very sympathetic, very mature about things, but sometimes the way I word stuff is not the best. And sometimes my intentions can be misconstrued. So um one day maybe, once we get that settled. But for today, I decided that I want to talk about mimics because I was looking like, hey, I couldn't come up with the first ever like podcast episode like topic that I wanted to talk about. But obviously there's like a plethora of stuff, but I felt so pressured to like pick one really good one because it's my first ever episode. Then I was like, honestly, when people start out, it's not really good, but I still kind of like it. So there might be some people out there who don't really care and just like my content. So we'll see. But at this point, again, it's my first episode, so I'm trying to give myself some grace. I put up these like little pictures and stuff. They're crooked as shit. But yeah. Hopefully I'll get like more stuff for the background and a better setup, like a better chair. Right now I'm using like my office chair and it's not the best. I'm in the corner of my room. So, yeah. I also am not a technical genius when it comes to audio and recording myself and doing all this stuff. So I'm gonna have patience with myself and give myself some grace. Um, Also with editing and stuff. I like see this flashing, so I don't know how long, if this is actually gonna show up flashing or if it's, I don't know. Anyways, so let's get started. So today I wanted to talk about mimics, which for some people are supernatural entities, or some people think that they're actually just ghosts or a doppelganger from either a different dimension, a different reality, whatever you want to call it. But sometimes it just really depends on the lore that you're looking into and the type of narrative, because some people will switch it up for it to fit their narrative. For example, I don't know if y'all are big anime fans out there, if there's any big anime fans, but there is an anime that had recently came out. It's called Frieren. That is one of the main characters. Essentially, she is a mage, and she has these strange encounters with mimics all the time. And the mimics in high fantasy, such as like D&D or video games like that, like I don't know how to explain it. Like there's mages, there's witches, there's swordsmen, there's heroes, there's villains, there's demons, like all that stuff mixed into one. Like elves, goblins, etc. There is a mimic and it's basically like a treasure chest. I'll put like something over here somewhere to show you what I mean. Also, if you see me looking at like behind the camera and not at the camera, is because I'm looking at my computer screen because um I don't know. I just have this weird feeling that I don't know if I can just continue to stare into a freaking camera lens for the entire show or the entire episode. By the way, excuse me, I had a burp. It's my Taco Bell's coming back for revenge. But if you don't like cursing, obviously you can already tell this is not the podcast for you. But also, if you have little ears and children around and you don't like them hearing cuss words, or explicit things, or vulgar language, um, this might not be the podcast for you. Or listen to it with headphones, or not around your kids. So, but anyway, so it's like a treasure chest, and it's basically like it has a mouth, so it's a monster. Like it's a monster that you would find in a dungeon on certain levels, and it would have like treasures, but you have to beat it first. So, I'll show you a picture of what I mean by Freeren and her mimics, but y'all will understand eventually. If not for the visual people for the podcast, hopefully I can get this video for our podcast as well and not just our YouTube. but I'll show it somewhere over here. Or like I said, D&D also has these type of monsters slash creatures that are mimics, and they have their own profile slash traits or what they are in that sort of reality. Okay, but today I will be talking about the supernatural, paranormal. So, and mostly I'm focusing on like spectral, like ghosts, like phantasmas, like phantoms. Okay, so talking about like phasmophobia. If y'all know what that is, it's a video game, very popular. It's a ghost hunting one, and you have to go through like each house and figure out what type of ghost or entity is inside the house. Like Oni, like a Yure, sorry, my pronunciation. Um, or you have a poltergeist, you have a demon, you have banshee, you have a mimic, you have who knows what else, okay? You have a bunch of other things. And so you have to basically go through and they give you a list of characteristics that fit the description of this entity. So mimics uh, you hear you'll hear like your voice or somebody another player's voice coming back at you. You see somebody who looks like you but is not you. You'll see another person's avatar that's not really there and they have already died. Stuff like that. So let me go to my notes. I also have put together a couple or like a few Reddit stories. I don't know if they're true, so take it with a grain of salt, but I'm going to label it as true for the sake of the podcast. But I have my little notes here. So, essentially, what are mimics? So, I gave y'all an example at the beginning of the episode. It's like they basically copy. They're a copycat ghost. It has multiple different names like shapeshifter, copycat ghost, doppelganger, finch, all that stuff. So they will in like the paranormal sense, they are usually like negative or benevolent entities slash spirits that imitate loved ones, animals, or your friends, or just human in general. They do their best by stalking their prey, which is either you, a loved one, or animal, or a human, and they try to replicate that as best to their ability so that they can either lure you away or like something with their own agenda, okay? They want to study you to the point where they can be you. Okay. And so my camera flickering on and off or the screen flickering is like really getting in my nerves. So hopefully it, I'm still gonna post it. I'm still gonna post it at this point because it's too much. It's too much. Anyways, besides the point, usually they have harmful intent towards people that they're enacting their mimicry on or towards because they're trying to lead you away. They're trying to do some fuck shit on you, okay? There's only rare instances where the mimic might actually have a positive outcome with their interaction. Like, if you hear the voice and you're like, I'm thinking about my mom. Let me call my mom. And then you actually wake her up while she's driving on the road and that like saves her. So, it could be like 50-50. But if you hear something that sounds like your mom and is calling your voice and your mom is right beside you, do not listen. Do not listen, especially if she did not speak. But if she did speak and you know that she's speaking to you, don't ignore her because she might just beat your ass. Anyways, so some people think that they're actually like creatures like cryptids because you'll hear about shapeshifters, which are SWs, which are not sex workers, okay? They're flesh pedestrians, as a lot of other podcasts talk about them. But either way, SWs, flesh pedestrians, that name that we usually call them, supposedly isn't what beckons them towards you. It's their folkloric native um given name from whatever tribe or Native American people, all that stuff. So I heard in reality we're not really like doing anything too crazy, but still proceed on the side of caution. Okay, I always like to proceed on the side of caution. I don't go looking for this shit. Sometimes it comes to me, and it's not allowed to come to me. Not allowed. Stay away, bitch. Stay away. Mm-mm. Anyways, so mimics actually don't like paranormal, supernatural, like ghostly entity wise, phantasmas, like phantoms. They don't have an original origin. It's like a amalgamation of different folklores from different cultures all over the world during different time periods that really culminate together to create what we know today as a mimic or a copycat ghost. So mimics don't have a true origin. They come from multiple different folklores, mythologies, and so on. They are entities that prey on people's fears. So, like I said again, it's your father's voice leading you out into the woods, and you know he's not there, or you see your your sister like standing in the corner, and that's not your sister because you know she's somewhere else. So it's the same. Or you hear your dog barking from outside, but your dog is right beside you. Okay. So, the mimics of today are heavily influenced by pop culture, which is, like I said, phasmophobia, D&D, all this other stuff. So you have a lot of shape shifting into items or shape shifting into people, um, or copying people, but it's like something's not fully right about how they copy. Either it doesn't sound right, um, the cadence is wrong, the tone, the accent, the like the way they call your name, or like their appearance. Something's wrong. You know how it's like uncanny valley? That is essentially what it is. And other paranormal slash horror games, which I would love to play. I don't know if I would play it on the pod, but I might have like a different channel to play it on, or like stream it on YouTube. But definitely, I would like to sit there and play something to really, you see how other people, specifically game developers, sorry, it's my Taco Bell, and like mucus, phlegm. But essentially, it is that they have their own twist to these entities or paranormal. Ugh, Taco Bell's fighting me really bad right now. Okay, I'm burping like a lot. Acid reflux. But they have their own like take on these ghost tales and all that stuff. So I think it would be pretty fun. So are doppelgangers the same as mimics? So what I think in my brain whenever I think of doppelgangers, which is from uh doppelganger is German. I forgot exactly what German for, but it's German. Doppelganger. So in my mind, I'm like, oh my god, that's my doppelganger. They walk, talk, they are me from a different dimension, place, or whatever. And we're about to have a showdown. Okay, we're about to have a showdown. I don't know which one of us is gonna win because honestly, I don't know if I am willing to fight myself because who knows what that bitch got in her pockets. Okay, I don't know what she got like to be pulled out of her sleeve. She might pull out a gun on me. I don't know. She's scary. I am my own worst nightmare. I am a menace to myself. But essentially, it is yourself. Sometimes in the lore or whatever, you have to fight to the death. Okay, there can only be one. They are seen speaking, walking, talking, um, interacting in different locations when you're like halfway across the world. They're like, "Oh, I know you. I've seen you before. Aren't you so and so?" And you're like, "No," but y'all could be literal twin, like identical twins. Same mannerisms, same dress, walk, talk, whatever. Okay, that's in my brain what a doppelganger is. But so what I have here is the folkloric versions of the earliest versions of the mimic was a concept of a creature that mimics or copies others. For example, an early version of the mimic is a Celtic doppelganger, which those two words fused together is crazy because they are different cultures, folk cultures. Okay. Um, so it says here the Celtic doppelganger or a finch, which I had mentioned earlier. A finch is a spectral or ghostly double of a living person. So again, it's like I wouldn't want to say a piece of you, but it's obviously like low key a piece of you. I don't want to sound crazy or woo, but it sounds like it's a piece of your soul or some shit. Let's see. A finch's appearance is often considered a bad omen, such as a person's impending death. So if y'all have ever heard of a banshee and you hear their wails, it's like you hear that there's an impending death, or either you're gonna die or somebody you know is gonna die, or in some cases, each family has their own banshee. So if you hear that one of your family members is gonna die, it's like a warning because they're wailing because they're so sad that I don't know, so and so Joe Blow is gonna kick the bucket. Okay. Unlike their German Doppelganger counterpart, the Celtic term for finch is specifically referring to an ominous spectral double with Irish folklore. So, like I said, doppelganger, I feel like it's like a physical person, like it's me, flesh and blood. Like I can go toe to toe with her and get my ass whooped. Okay. Versus like a spectral person where I'm seeing you and you're kind of translucent and whoa, and I turn on the lights and you're gone. But yeah, so more to know about the finch is that unlike other versions of the mimics, this creature in particular can only be seen by the person they are imitating. Listen, if that was the case, nobody else can see them and they're like constantly up my ass, I would just, sorry to say it, but I would think I have schizophrenia. Like, I would try to get medicated. Not gonna lie to you, okay? Because what do you mean you can't see what I see? And it's happened multiple times. And I can't get rid of it. It's either I'm being haunted or I got schizophrenia. Um, because unless I'm like mentally ill, unless I know I have that mental illness, something's wrong. Something's wrong. I don't know. Um, and sometimes it can only be seen by everybody else but the person they're imitating, which that pisses me off. Okay, that pisses me the fuck off. Because what do you mean they're copying me? They're copying my flow. They're copying my style. And then they're leaving me out of it. Like I'm not able to participate, and they refuse to include me, and everybody else is included but me. Like you have the audacity to copy me and go show your face to everybody else but me. Anyways, so I have a Frenchie puppy, so if y'all can hear her, that's her Frenchie puppy genetics kicking in. She can't breathe, but it's not as bad as a pug, I think. But it's still pretty bad. Anyways, so on to our true encounters. So, me personally, I've never experienced a mimic, and I will never experience a mimic. Ever. Putting that out into the universe. Speaking into existence, bitch. Okay. So on Reddit, it was posted on r/ghost stories with a capital G for ghost. Poster's name is storytime underscore 736. So this one kind of sounds like because I've already read everything before, so I don't really have like a fresh reaction, but I have more commentary because again, I had filmed this before, talked about it before, and the bitch got deleted. It was nobody else's fault but mine. Um, Anyways, so the story goes a guy named Sam lived in the city, rented a 2-bedroom apartment because he hated to be alone, which I guess couldn't be me. But, anyways, he moved in a lady and her young son. Do we know if this lady is his friend, his girlfriend, a random stranger, a family friend? Who is this woman and her young son? Okay. One afternoon, she told Sam she had experienced something and she was very afraid. Okay. One night while walking to the bathroom, she saw a naked man, tall naked man, walk down the hall and turn into the kitchen. Already, what the fuck? A tall naked man. That is in itself a nightmare. Tall, strange, naked man. Okay. No other descriptions. She said it looked like it was coming out of his room. So it was coming out of Sam's room, I'm assuming. She was terrified and ran into the bathroom. When she exited the bathroom, she didn't see the tall man. So there's somebody living in their apartment, and she got to bust out a gun because her young son is living in that apartment. A predator. This tall man is walking around naked. Okay. Neither Sam or the woman had anyone over. Sam said he felt like he was being watched, but dismissed it as childish. If my roommate told me that there was a tall naked man prowling the halls of my home, that would never be dismissed. Okay. Fumigating this place, I'm calling the cops. Motherfucker getting a cap in his ass, okay? Okay. The lady stayed at his apartment for a few months and nothing else happened to her. She worked second shift, which is like graveyard or overnight or nighttime shift, and he worked days. Sam would be asleep when she came home. Sam would wake up to her sitting in his room on his floor. Wait, no, I said that backwards. Sam would wake up to her sitting on the floor in his room. Already, what the fuck are you doing in my room, bruh? Aren't you supposed to be like working? I'm supposed to be asleep because I work days and you're supposed to be working. So what are you doing in my room? What are you doing? Okay. Okay. She would just talk away. He figured it out. He figured it made her feel safe, so he didn't complain. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. There's like a lot of typos, and I just didn't fix it. I like literally copied and pasted from Reddit, and I said, put this bitch on my notes. So, sorry if it's taking me a minute because I'm trying to read it properly. Okay. So, she's chilling on his floor talking to him, rambling on at night. And I assume that he knew the figure was a woman slash a female presenting entity, okay? He kind of enjoyed himself. I would not enjoy myself, but okay. This carried on for a few months. The woman had rented a place with her new boyfriend. Sam thanked the lady for helping him pay rent and all that good stuff. He also thanked her for the late night talks and said he was going to miss them. She was confused and didn't know what he was talking about. She said she usually goes to her bedroom. Why would I be in your room? She said. Sam had no clue why she would be in denial. If she told me, hey, no, why would I go into your room? That's weird. I would keep my mouth shut and I would break into a cold sweat and be like, what the fuck? Who the hell has been sitting on my floor for the past few months talking to me at night? Y'all hear her? She is snoring and it sounds like a grown man. Okay, I'm sorry if y'all hear her. I really am. But I can't keep her in a separate room because my cats and her will go at each other sometimes and it's just like a lot. So, denial is a river in Egypt. Okay. Sometime later, he thought about the tall, skinny man and wondered if that was if that is who he had been talking to. You just said that she was sitting on. So you didn't notice that it was a tall, naked man versus I'm assuming a smaller woman, perhaps fully clothed. Why would she be in your room naked? Anyways, somehow he looked like her. That's nuts. Okay, so a mimic. Or maybe Sam lost his mind. A trickster ghost, demon maybe. Either way, Sam never slept the same again. I'm Sam BTW. I just changed my name. He didn't change his name. He just changed like first person, second person, third person. But anyways, so it was mimicking what? The first time it was tall naked man. And then it mimicked the woman that was staying with them. So is Sam not a tall dude? I'm assuming that they're he. Hold on. Yeah, because it says he. Anyways, let's go click on it. Let's click on the thing. Because in the last recording, I didn't click on it. But I want to see the comments and what they have to say. Okay. Scroll down. Mm-mm-mm. So the posters said that they didn't know about mimics at the time because this was a few years ago in one of the comments. So there was another one. It's Craze 10, but it's spelled KYRZTENZ. Said underneath this post, it says, I was in the shower one time and my hubby walked through the bathroom. I was talking to him and he didn't respond, so he walked out and I ran upstairs and there he was, asleep, wearing different clothes than just a second ago. Why would those beings do this to us? That home was haunted, but no evil ones were there. Yeah, if that happened to me in the shower, I would shit myself. One. Two, there's some times that people experience like entities slash mimics talking back to them, like they have full conversations with them, like they're a person. Like, oh, I'm having a full conversation with my sister. I just saw her walk into the bathroom and, lights on, door closed, we're talking through the door, and then all of a sudden she stops talking and then she goes to check the door and nobody's in there. There ain't no window, there ain't no other exit, gone. Nothing in there. So who were they talking to? I don't know. So the poster said again, the craze like tens. I just thought he was ignoring me, but after a minute or so, he didn't open the door when he left. That's when I freaked out. He just went through the closed door. The bathroom had three doors, and he went through the door that went to the laundry room. I can't understand the whole thing to this day. The fact that I was in the shower freaked me out after the fact. Yikes. Yeah, yeah, I'm naked and vulnerable. I'm the naked man. Okay, I'm the naked man, the tall naked man, but I'm vulnerable. Okay, okay. Also, yeah, girl, you didn't hear the door open. You just heard your husband like walk in, saw him. You just didn't think a thing about it. Also, how does that work? You have three different doors that lead out to three different places in a bathroom. That bathroom must be huge, or that bathroom must only have one secure wall. Cause what the fuck? Okay. Okay. So there's a person in this Reddit post, one of the commenters, they asked, so their username is Taryn1777. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I pronounced it. So they asked, so what's the difference between a mimic and a doppelganger? Which is something I crossed I I crossed upon. No, I covered a little bit earlier. Um, Somebody said, which is the poster, said a doppelganger is a living person who is a twin to somebody that they're not related to. So it's a completely different person, same walk, same talk, whatever. They probably have a different style, but it's literally flesh and blood. They're flesh and blood. A mimic is a supernatural being. So somebody's like, there's a paranormal doppelganger too. Here's a link to the Wikipedia that explains it, which is the person who asked what's the difference between a doppelganger and a mimic. And again, it's Wikipedia, so take everything you find with a grain of salt unless you experience it yourself and you talk to like, I don't know, some supernatural professionals, a witch, a psychic, I don't know. I'm definitely not the person and I'm also not a professional. I'm just a girl who likes to yap about her interest. And her interests so happen to be mimics that sometimes appear as tall, skinny men. Tall, naked, skinny men. Yikes. Okay, so the poster of the original, the very, very first, the one who started this, said apparently from what I read, if you see one, you'll die. That's sad. Yeah, yeah, it is pretty sad. Let's go back. Okay, so I have another story as well that I stole from Reddit, but I'm giving proper credit. Okay, so this was posted in r/paranormal, capital P in paranormal. Okay, the poster's name is Eclipse Griffey. Capital E for Eclipse and capital G for Griffey. Okay, I have to burp. Ah, no, it's so gross. So my 6-year-old son saw a mimic yesterday. This one I do not like. Okay, I do not like. I remember the story. Okay. Me and my wife were downstairs entertaining our other kids when my eldest son came quite quickly down the stairs and was rather freaked out. I don't like how they say quite quickly because I'm reading like 10 different things. Quietly down or quickly down, like, you know, too many description words in one. And I'm getting confused. My little small tiny brain. Anyways, with a little prying, he tells us he just saw me upstairs in our room, in quotations, which is opposite of his. Okay. Slowly backing away into the darkness with white glowing eyes smiling. If my father ever did that, I'm whooping his ass. Okay, I'm whooping his ass, no questions, and I won't be talking to him for a couple days. I love my dad. Me and him have a really funny and great relationship. But why would you do that to me, father? What possessed you to do that? Huh? That's awful. That's so rude. Anyways, what freaks me out is I do stuff like this um with him. I'll do that. I'll do that to hold on. Um I'm tongue tied. Okay, let me restart. What freaks me out is I do stuff like that. Why do I keep saying that? I do stuff like this with him. I'll do that to make him jump and then run. Then he runs into my room and quote unquote attacks me. But the fact that this thing must have known doing this would normally draw him into the room, which, like I said, these entities or whatever the fuck they are, they love to watch the person they're trying to imitate. They like to study their prey. They like to watch their prey and copy that and mimic it. So this predator of an entity was trying to get your son into the master bedroom. Okay. Mm, mm-mm. No, sir. Okay. Luckily, my boy has a good sense and instantly realized it was not me. It's time to do a house cleansing, I think. Sir, you think? You think? Get some get some incense, get some palo santo, get some holy water, get some whatever you need. Call it priest. Do whatever you need to do. Get that fucker out. Get the predator out. Away from your kids. Entities can be predators too. Okay. Edit. I just realized the camera I have in my room fell, quote unquote, a few minutes before this happened. What a coinky dink. No evidence. Okay. So I'm gonna press on it again and we're gonna go through it because there's one in here that I kinda like because it's weird. It's weird. It's funky, it's spooky. Okay. I get a little spooked. I woke up in the middle of the night. Hold on. My bad. The poster's name is Aquariox, like Aquari, but without the us. Instead, it's like OX. 2601 said, I woke up in the middle of the night, once to see what looked like myself stood next to my partner over his side of the bed. It was me. My makeup, my hair, and was wearing a kimono type thing. So, like, a robe, a silky little robe. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking of the traditional kimono, obviously. Okay. Because they probably wouldn't say type thing if it was actually like a kimono. Which at the time I used to wear a few of, but I didn't have one in the black and orange silk pattern that this was wearing. Oh, black and orange, a Halloween silky kimono. Interesting. Okay. Anyways, when she slash it noticed I was staring at it slash her, or she slash it, scurried straight out of our bedroom door and vanished. It was trying to finesse your husband. Okay, it was trying to diddle your husband or your partner, your man. You need to do something. That might have been a succubus or something. Kick it out. Sage it. Palo Santo it. Holy water. I don't know. Kick it out. Anyways, I always told myself I dreamt it, but reading all these, I'm wondering now whether I did. Interesting. Okay, so a person commented, I keep hitting these. Thank God they're not glass. Somebody commented underneath her post. It's cryptid files. Oh my God, that's terrifying. This reminds me of when I was around 8 or 9 years old. I just finally been allowed home after nearly dying from a combination of pneumonia and something to do with mold. So I'm a Susie. Susie. I'm assuming it was mold poisoning. You know, like black mold and other types of mold. They kind of like infect the lungs, and you already have pneumonia. But that must have been horrible. I literally died. These people are stronger than me. Okay. Okay. Says, I couldn't sleep that night and I was really spooked. So I figured I'll just go to my parents' room, which was literally my door 7 steps forward and then to the left. Do I know what that means? No. I'm horrible at directions. If you give me directions like that, specifically of my spatial awareness type of directions, I will fail miserably. Okay? So I live in Texas. I know what I-35 is because I've driven down that road countless times, okay? If you tell me, yeah, I was on I-35 and then I took the exit off of, and got onto 75 by 87. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. If I can't see it visually, I will get lost. Okay? Now, guess what? I'm in Houston. Okay? I'm in Houston, and now I'm heading to Corpus. Okay? I don't know where I am. To be fair, I do live in North Texas, so I don't know where I am. So please don't ever say that to me. Also, my dad says, like, oh, that's like right off of 72 or 27 or 48. I don't know these numbers, Dad. Or Interstate 20, 20 something, 23. Dad, please, 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 just tell me what roads. Just tell me, oh, do you know that academy by that Wendy's, by that, Walgreens? Where the corner off of, where so and so, like, just tell me something that I can, like, correlate it to. I'm really bad. I'm really bad. If I stop for directions and they're like, oh, over yonder, and then you're gonna do like a couple miles like down east, and then after that, after you hit the light on, you know, uh, Bushwick, then you're gonna turn right. Like, no, no, I would never survive without a GPS. I sometimes I'm really glad to be living in the day and age that I live in. Anyways, I very literally saw myself, but wearing the purple Cinderella nightgown I'd been wearing before going to the hospital. it's hard to explain, but there isn't a hall leading to the rooms. It's just the rooms. And you'd open your door right up into the living room. Whatever it was standing basically between the two doors, our two doors, halfway behind a laundry basket. I froze so hard and actually stared it myself down for a few seconds before darting into my mom's room. It didn't move, it didn't have a look on its face or anything. It was just completely empty and it gave off an almost cold feeling. I never told my mom that I'd literally seen myself in a living room in the middle of the night. Nasty. So what I'm assuming is this entity, you were gone for a while, so it mimicked you. Your house was already probably like haunted or whatever, and it had a chance while you were gone, and then you came back and it's like, okay, let's test it out. But man, what the fuck? What the fuck? That's awful. And then I had read this earlier in the other recording, so I'm gonna read it again. This person called superstar underscore Alex, superstar with 2 R's at the end. Why the fuck did I read this? Edit. OP, I hate you so much right now, LMFAO. I just ran across this post again because of my notifications, and it's nearly 3 a.m. and I am alone in my room. I damn near have the covers pulled up to my chin. Haha, fuck. I am 30. I was stabbed by my ex several times. This is worse. Whenever I first read that, I was like, 30 times? I would have died. I would have died. You know, I'm not God's strongest soldier. This person is. 30 times. They were stabbed 30 times. Jesus Christ. Anyways, so yeah. That was the post for that one. That honestly, like, I think that bathroom ghosts are the worst, okay? I am either shitting or I'm naked and vulnerable, okay? I hate bathroom ghosts. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's a Japanese urban legend. I forgot if it's called Hanako-san, but essentially, like, they even have like an anime about it, but it's like a little boy instead of a girl, I think. But usually it's in the women's restroom or the girls' restroom in schools and stuff, or just in general in Japanese stalls. So usually in Japanese stalls, well, in older Japanese stalls, bathroom stalls, they have like squat toilets. So it's basically like a hole in the ground and you squat over it and do your business. Excuse me. And there is a ghost who asks you, who's like, comes out the toilet. Like, I'm literally trying to shit and squat over your face, over your head, and you're asking me, hey, red or blue toilet paper? Bitch, get out before I shit on your head. I'm gonna shit on your head. I'm gonna piss on your head. What are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Or, I don't know, there's some like legend, like some stories where they come down from the ceiling and they're peering up from the other side of the other cubicle next to you, and still I'm like, I'm shitting. I'm literally shitting. So you're telling me I'm going to die while shitting. You know, there's been like moments where people have done that IRL. But imagine being taken out by a ghost in the cubicle toilet and you die shitted on. I didn't have a chance to wipe. I didn't have a chance to pull up my pants. There is no dignity. So essentially it asks you, blue or red toilet paper? Which one? And essentially, if you pick blue, you die of like suffocation, strangulation, and your face turns blue. Which also, in death, you would still defecate and urinate yourself. Like all your extremities would just, you know. But that would have to be absolutely embarrassing. Okay. Especially if somebody found my body like that. And if you pick the red paper, obviously you know what's gonna happen. You're gonna die a bloody death Where does the blood come from? Do you get stabbed? Do you get shot? I don't know. It's Japan, so I'm assuming you do not get shot. Do you get clawed at? I don't know. But you die a horrible, bloody death. So for women out there, sometimes, we do die on our time of the month. And if you are a woman who does not have a time of the month, um, you should be very thankful. Okay. Speaking of which, I think this is like a weird fact, I think, but I always thought about it. Like, what if I die in like a horrible accident and like I'm on my period and I have a pad or like I have a tampon in? But I know for like a pad, they just take it off, right? But for like a tampon to like take it out and replace it, or like they just take it out. Do I like get embalmed with my tampon? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that I've read something that they just take it out. But yeah, so you die a gruesome, horrible, bloody death, and you're either pissed on or shitted on. That's awful. That's absolutely horrible. That's like the worst way to go. Actually, no, it's not. That's just a really embarrassing way to go. Yeah. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else to talk about for the mimic stuff. Um, but I do have other podcasts that I did listen to that I drew inspiration on off of. So, Two Girls One Ghost is one of them, obviously. They are like a play on of the Two Girls One Cup. If y'all don't know that and you're too young, do not look it up. If y'all know what it is, good for you, or my condolences. But they are Two Girls One Ghost. I believe their ghost name is Sven, which low-key I would name my cat Sven. And then the Most Haunted City on Earth podcast, which they're based in Savannah, Georgia. So they have like paranormal museums, haunted museums. The city itself is super haunted, really deep in history, rich in history, paranormal history, gruesome, like dark history. Definitely give them like a little look-see because they're one of my favorite podcasts. I was there since the very beginning. Yo, I was one of the OGs. Do I have money to subscribe to their to be a pair junkie? No. Do I wish I did? Yes. But sadly, your girl is broke. And then there's one called Ghosties. It's like a sister duo, and I believe they're based in Texas as well, but they're very chill. I love them. They're on YouTube and anywhere you can find podcast. They do like little themes where so essentially ghost teas like TEA. So they test teas, like different types of teas for their podcast. Also, they be spilling the tea. That's why they're called ghosties. Um, and so recently they tried like a lot of Barney and Sons like teas. I don't know if that's actually the brand name. My bad. But there's a cherry blossom green tea, which I absolutely adore. They've tried it and they said they love it. It is a light and floral flavor, unlike uh, black teas, which are more robust and very pronounced in their flavor profile. Green teas are light and airy, it's like, oh, there's a leaf in my water. Versus like black teas is like, oh, there's a piece of bark in my water. Like that's the difference. Um, but they do talk about mimics. I was like listening to one of their recent podcasts while I was getting ready, and they dressed up as Benadryl and the Hat Man or the Shadow Man. Because there's like an ongoing joke, like if you eat melatonin or you drink or you take Benadryl before you like sleep, you're having like these messed up, fucked up dreams, and usually you see the Shadow Man or the Hat Man. But I don't know. Usually I'm just really groggy if I take Benadryl. If I fall asleep like that, or melatonin doesn't work on me like that. But you know what does? Happy gummies. I'm not gonna specify what they are. Happy gummies. But yeah, so I do have a bunch of other podcasts that I do listen to, and that's what gave me the inspiration to do my own. Um, Sadly, I do not have a co-host, but it's whatever. It's me, myself, and I. I'm the best co-host. Just kidding. I'm talking to myself in my room, in the corner of my room, into a camera. Anyways, so I will put all the info and all that stuff where I got like my information from in the show notes or my description. If you want to email me any of your ghostly, spooky, messed up stories, morbid stories, whether it be true crime, whether it be something you want me to cover on my podcast, or something you would like to share on the podcast, go ahead and you can email me at podcastgetspooked@gmail.com. Again, everything is going to be linked slash shown, so don't worry about it. But yeah, go ahead and contact me through there. I want to say that's one of the easiest ones, especially if, oh my God, I'm just gonna get like, if I get like so famous and this podcast just blows up and I'm just too busy and it's just too much to answer my DMs. Just kidding. It's never gonna happen. But yeah, you can go through there and it's probably easier for me to find you like that, especially like if you do like subject line, this is what I'm looking for, then if I'm doing a specific episode on that, I can include it in my episode. And then my Instagram is get.spooked podcast. And all of my social medias are going to have the same profile picture. They're going to have the same profile picture as, yeah, they're all going to have the same profile picture. They're all going to be around um, the same wording because it was taking me a little bit to get similar wording and try not to like try to keep it cohesive because a lot of people already took these usernames. So that's the Instagram, and I also have a TikTok. And the TikTok is get_spooked pod. So if y'all want to tag me or y'all want to DM me, whatever, comment on whatever post I have on my TikTok and Instagram and in the comments of the YouTube channel and all that stuff, go ahead and let me know. And yeah, I'm very excited to get the ball rolling with the next episode. So hopefully I can get this out before 12. So I want to do as much as I can during the spooky season because this is my favorite season. Like I literally pop off during the season. I don't know if you can't tell. I love it. I love it so much. I love the smell. I love the food. Even though in Texas it's still hot as shit. Okay, it's still hot as shit. But yeah. Anyways, it was good yapping to y'all. Have a good night.